think of that. Like, of course, like if you were Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, you were the front of the Allies. Yeah, I think I would be waking up and starting my day off.
I think I'd be fucked up too the entire time. That amount of stress just in one person. I mean, it's just insane. Wow, man. Maybe wine does have.
There might be something there.
Yeah, maybe I'd be having 2 bottles. You know what I mean? Who am I to judge?
They've been getting a lot of stuff historically accurate. And one of them is Ratatouille. Like, how cool is it that they were able to animate to physically give a symbol or
a flavor?
A flavor.
Yeah.
And
how do you animate a flavor?
How do you
I'm pretty hungry, so I'm already. I'm gonna down one of these so I can.
You haven't eaten?
No, I haven't eaten anything. So
I haven't had my coffee. So let
me put my seat a little bit down. Fuck. So I feel really tall right now.
Chuga's gonna be sloshed by the end of this. Steven's last man standing. Welcome back to 101.1.
Welcome to this, I think this is going to be my 11th episode. Today we have Austin Stevens. Stevens, thank you so much for being here, bro. He has brought a whole new vibe to this podcast. We are wine tasting today. Stevens, thank you for being on the show. How do you feel?
Anytime. I'm excited. It's something new. I think it's going to be a fun adventure and like the young crowds that you can get involved with. It's time to finally teach some cool shit without all the fancy shit, if that makes sense.
I mean, it's also wine, so, you know, you got to be 21 to drink it. Drink responsibly, if you want to. I don't know. Yeah. Do what we do in this show. Yeah.
Well, that, or if you're in Texas, just come out with your dad and your mom and you'll be fine.
Come out with your dad and your mom. Wow, I didn't know that. Is
awesome.
Texas the only person? The only person.
Yes, Texas is the only person.
The only person that lets you do that?
For the most part, yeah.
So what are we? Tell me, what are we drinking right now? What is this? What is this nectar of the gods that I'm sipping on right now?
Nectar of the gods. Okay. So we're starting off with what is considered a green wine. So this is what you would consider like a vino verde, and it's exactly as it's translated in Spanish, where it's green wine. Now that means that it's both an early harvest. That's where you get this like really cool like light golden nectar of the gods color.
Okay.
But you're also getting that vibe of it's refreshing. It's supposed to be new. It's something different. New wine, vino verde. So as green as possible, and it's so refreshing.
Yeah, that's really, really refreshing. I gotta say, I'm not a big wine person, but wine does get me giggly in a different way than like
gets you giggly. In a different
gets
way.
me in
yeah,
a
wine drunk is different from other drunk.
Yeah, it gets me. And I didn't believe that. Bro. But until I remember the first time I got like wine drunk, and it was even hard for me to like say I'm drunk right now because it was just such a completely different feeling. But I like this. I like this a lot. What's this called?
So it's still vino verde. Yeah, but it's
what's it called?
Olivete.
It's called what?
Olivete.
Olivete.
Yeah.
And
Olivete.
that's what is that? French, Spanish?
This is Portuguese.
Portuguese.
So very common drink if you're in Portugal, especially in the northern part of the country. Everyone that is into wine is going to be sitting outside on that kind of like French Riviera type of vibe with the ocean and the Gothic architecture in the background.
Right.
They're sipping some vino verde because during the summer months, due to how it's refreshing and it's like hue and color, it's just significantly different compared to other wines that you'll drink in Europe. Its other close related sister, which we'll probably be able to taste a little bit more in a third bottle today, is going to be more of an Albarino varietal, meaning like that's a completely different strain of grape that goes into this, and a little bit of a different process.
Okay. Well, I gotta say, I also did some research on wines to prepare. So I have a little bit of everything. I have questions about wine. Then I have a little trivia about wine.
Oh, cool.
Then I just have some questions to get us to know each other a little bit better, which is what wine is all about. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long do you typically like? After you open a bottle of wine, how long can you like have it for? Does it go bad like beer or something?
That is a very interesting question, and I think anybody that is looking to buy wine, whether it be a date or like a really fun and cool experience, or
Yeah.
you're trying to get a gift or impress a boss or give something to your best friend that just got married, and you're like, hey, this is for you and the missus, or
Yeah.
vice versa, for you and the mister. What's fun about this is every wine ages a different way. And I'm really genuine about that just from a year of experience. So white wines typically in a fridge at a low temperature can last you. It's like you open it, you maybe have a glass or two of it, and then you put it right back in the fridge. And,
Yeah.
look at it, touch it for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Maximum, I would probably give 2 weeks. But after that,
2 weeks,
2
really?
weeks as a standard in the fridge. But you're not consistently reopening it and pouring it out. Like
So if you're
tried it-
consistently opening it, then less than that?
Oh yeah, less than that. More
Wow.
oxygen in the bottle, the quicker
The
it's going
quicker
to age.
it's going to age.
Yeah.
Okay.
But 2 weeks for
Wow.
white wine, and then red wine, if you seal it, so like this bottle doesn't have it, but like those toppers over there
Yeah.
in the middle,
Yeah.
they're vacuum sealed. So you pump out all the
All
oxygen,
the
from
oxygen
the
that's-
bottle. and the
Whoa,
only
that's
thing that's
crazy.
left is just the wine.
That's really cool. How much do those wine toppers come out for?
Honestly, like a pack of 6 is like $8, like at
Really?
Specs. Yeah.
Dude, that's super cool, especially if you drink wine very often, which I don't, but I want to start doing. I'm trying to get away from those Bud Lights and Tecate Rojos, if you know what I mean. Moved on to something a little bit more sophisticated.
Well, it's better for you. It doesn't cause bloating. There has been science behind wine and the research that's gone into it that just drinking wine, not necessarily on a daily basis, to where like, yeah, I'm going to pound a bottle a day. It's
Yeah.
probably not the healthiest thing to do. But wine naturally just has minerals and benefits for the human body compared to that of like your hard liquors like
Yeah.
tequila,
Yeah.
sotol, mezcal.
Yeah.
Like that's a rough spirit. That proof
Yeah.
is 90%. The
Yeah.
alcohol content that we're drinking in wine can literally range from anywhere like north of 5% to perhaps a maximum like the Californian cabs that are coming out, and we'll try one today. That one's going to be higher. That's like 16, 18%
Wow.
ABV.
You see, I don't want you bringing anything in this podcast lower than 5%.
Well, we're not Mormon.
Yeah,
bitch.
yeah. I'll tell you that right now. That doesn't make it into this podcast. I actually, I'll hop into a trivia question, Stevens, and you guys can answer too. I'll say your answers, but here's a little bit of trivia. How many? Because we were talking about drinking and how much wine you should drink daily. How many bottles of wine do you think Winston Churchill drank in his lifetime? And I'll give you guys some ranges,
Yeah.
just because there's a lot of this is how would you even measure? But A, 6,000 bottles of wine throughout his adult life.
Oh, throughout his entire adult
Uh-huh.
life. Okay.
B, 15,000. C, 50,000. Or D, 42,000.
You want me to respond
I
first?
want you to
or
respond first,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Well, Winston Churchill is just an interesting character to start off.
He
with
is
the
a very
flights.
interesting
And talk
character.
about a major alcoholic is
Yeah.
what you would consider him.
I feel like a lot of the people back then,
Mm-hmm.
it just wasn't diagnosed. You know what I mean? There was no like you could just drink whatever the fuck you wanted to do, and like nobody cared. I mean, not that nobody cared, but like it was just normal. Like even smoking, like it wasn't. I mean, everybody knows the history about smoking, but it just an alcoholic and like.
And
like,
he was not just an average drinker. Like he reset the precedent of what it meant to be an alcoholic, while also like consuming cigars, as you can name it.
Yeah.
To have your own cigar named after you, like your own cut from
Yeah.
the entire Mesoamerican continent. They're Cubanos or not Cubanos. It's literally a Churchill. And
Yeah.
for you and I, smoking a Churchill is going to take anywhere between like 4 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
He would be smoking more than 25 of those in a day.
That's crazy.
And that's insane. But
I would be dying from my asthma, bro.
yeah,
Yeah.
you would have a whole nother disease. Bro.
Yeah.
And what's so interesting is that he wakes up and for breakfast, he already has some liquor and champagne.
Yeah.
By the time he hits lunch, he's already passed a whole new bottle of champagne, sparkling water, and then additional spirits. Now, the only time during the day where he wasn't mixing his
delicious.
alcohol, he would just have either his last bottle of champagne at the end of the day as a nightcap,
Yeah.
and or he would have half a bottle of scotch, and that was his nightcap, and then he would just wake
Wow.
up and start all over again tomorrow. So I'm going to go with the highest one. I want to say in his lifetime about 50,000.
50,000.
And I don't even think that's
I
even
forgot I
half
fucking
of
asked
it.
the question, man. For real, you just took me on a whole fucking loop of wine history and Winston Churchill, bro. Okay, 50,000. What about you, Fred?
I think I'll go with the odd one out, 42,000.
42,000. 42,000 too. Yeah, I think I made that really easy. It's 42,000.
Oh, it's
42,000.
Yeah.
So
But
that
we
is.
can agree it's a high number.
Yeah, it's really high. That's a bottle and a half for every day of your adult life.
Jesus.
That's insane. I don't know. I feel like his health probably was fucking horrible. I mean, also
he
back then.
lived to an old age.
Yeah, he lived to an old age, which
Maybe
is weird.
wine was his secret.
Yeah, right. That's weird. He probably had horrible, like I don't know, digestive or like whatever the fuck. Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like it was just normal back then to like be that old and be that sick and be like all fucked up like that.
Well, you were in such a different time in the world too. Like, people were killing other people significantly. Like, you're not talking about the stuff that's happening today, where it's just like, you know, a couple thousand here, a couple hundred there. And I know that's morbid to say, but
Yeah.
I'm confident as a history major that you've never seen, our generation has never seen the level
Of
death,
Yeah.
the level of loss, and the change in culture globally.
yeah.
And to think of that, like, of course, like if you
Of
were
course, I'd be
Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, you were the
100%.
front of the Allies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I would be waking up and starting my day off.
I think I'd be
drinking,
fucked
so.
up too the entire time. It's that amount of stress just in one person. I mean, it's just insane. Wow, man. Maybe wine does have.
There might be something there.
Yeah, maybe I'd be having
Yeah.
2 bottles. You know what I mean? Who am I to judge? Damn, that's crazy. What about like pairing it with food? What do you what would
Heard
you
it.
pair this wine with? Because I'm thinking like maybe I'm going on a date or something, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Like what would you? What kind of wine would you? Or what kind of food would you have this kind of wine with?
So let's talk about the sociability aspect of wine compared to like other spirits. So
Yeah,
and
let's.
I think that's really cool, especially where we're from and where we're recording this
Yeah.
is El Paso is very close to Mexico, and that's awesome because we get to experience the Hispanic culture in a completely different way than what other countries or other states, just a part of the U.S.
So
alone,
incorporated.
can do. But that means that there's tequila, there's sotol, there's mezcal. You know, there's these heavy spirits that are all derived from the tequila plant, the agave.
What do you mean by
plant.
heavy spirits? Like what do you call them?
So like heavy spirits. So spirit is something that is heavily distilled, and you're looking for an ABV, and I'm not sure what the exact number is, but
Okay.
you're looking at whiskey, you're looking at bourbon, you're looking at tequila, to where that alcohol content, that ABV in it is
Yeah.
higher than like 20, 30, 40, 50, like 90 proof
Yeah.
vodka.
Yeah.
Like it's a pure form. It's
Okay.
a spirit compared
Right.
to that of a wine.
Oh,
But
okay.
to pair tequila with stuff, like what would you sit down and have tequila with? Like, we're from El Paso, like you're wanting to do a sampling or a tasting of tequila.
Right.
What are you gonna naturally eat that with?
Man, I don't know, like chips and salsa or something.
Yeah, chips and salsa. Like, you don't butcher me on my Spanish, but I'm
No,
gonna
you're good.
try. But your cuisine for that is going to be Mexican food,
Yeah.
and it makes sense because you're pairing food that comes from that country.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean, and it gets much more convoluted in Europe because you have, 18, 24, 26 countries that
Yeah.
are so close together that have a similar identity. Whereas like in Mexico, like no, like your 3 main spirits that Mexico develops
Right.
is tequila, sotol, and mezcal.
Mezcal, yeah.
So naturally, like any type of Portuguese food is going to go really well with a Portuguese wine.
Okay.
But a Vino Verde, a clean wine, because of where Portugal is located, you can pair it with any pasta. You can pair it with any fish.
Oh, okay.
Any type of white meat,
Yeah.
because the citrus notes that are part of this, and I don't know what you're getting in terms of like your smell or like
Yeah.
what's on your tongue.
Yeah, smell is always
Yeah.
rough for me because of my allergies, but I'm getting a really, really, really nice taste.
Well, no, and that's okay. Like
Very delicious taste.
When one of your senses is kind of lowered, like you step up into a different one,
Yeah.
or a different sense that you depend upon. So like your palate from drinking this is going to be significantly different from mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, as is Fred's, and as it's gonna change.
Yeah, yeah. So if I bought this bottle of wine, what did you say it was called? I'm sorry. This one
Great
that we're
question.
drinking.
We're not even that far in. No, I'm joking. This is Alavide.
Elevated.
Yeah,
so
Vino Verde.
this would go well with some fish.
I would say fish, pasta.
Fish, pasta.
Yeah, some really light, enjoyable, like red meat that
Right.
you want medium rare.
Uh-huh.
Something light where like it's kind of like Ratatouille. You know, he puts a strawberry in his mouth.
Yeah.
And it's like one explosion of colors that
Yeah.
Disney animated in, and then he takes a bite of cheese and it's completely different. Then he puts the two together and it's like, like, oh my gosh, it's completely different.
Whatever noises
Yeah.
French people make.
No.
All right. Well, I like it, and I like this. Do you think should we move on to the next one? Let's do it.
So next one we're gonna do, I think, is actually pretty different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta say, I drink like gas station wine, bro. So, you know, so like I don't have much of a I don't have much of a developed palate for these. So if I make a face at a couple of these, don't think that it's because.
No, the more genuine. So like the more genuine and the more real you are, especially with staff or walking into a liquor store and you're speaking with a person that has not necessarily the specialty of wine, but has some sort of knowledge, collective knowledge, they're going to ask you a couple of questions. But it's not an interrogation. It's how can I understand what you're looking for?
You know, I feel like a
then
lot of
go forward
people.
from there.
I feel like a lot of people might feel that way. Like they might feel like just intimidated because they don't know much about wine. I definitely feel that way just about like spirits, like you said, like alcohol and stuff. Like I don't know how to pair a lot of stuff. I don't know how to like necessarily stuff should taste with the food that I'm eating.
Y'all want to join in?
And I definitely feel that way also. I mean, I feel that way heavily with wine. Like it's just so complicated and there's such a like a. Oh yeah, baby, everybody's getting in on this.
Well, and you kind of have to. When you say,
I mean, it's
like,
complicated. You know what I mean?
Well, no. That like everybody needs to get in on this.
Yeah.
And that's because like think about it. When you order a shot of tequila, or if you order tequila, what is it going to come in?
A shot glass.
A shot. So it's selfish. That shot is for your consumption. You can't necessarily.
You don't share shots.
Yeah, you can if you wanted to share a shot, but that's not the culture. You know, if you get a shot, then you get a shot for Ariana. So it's you two are sharing a shot together. Wine's completely different because if you can down a bottle of wine, which believe me, like a bottle of wine for Stevens don't do shit. But a bottle of wine to the average person, if your tolerance is not as high, you're not going to be able to get through it. So wine is designed by humanity to be the only shareable drinking experience compared to any other type of distilled spirit, whiskey, scotch, bourbon, tequila, mezcal, soju, sake. It's this wine's sociability due to its nature that we've given it, almost like a personification, is shareable. It is sociable. And if you take that away from that, you get all the negative backlashes. You get that Winston Churchill that's, hey, I'm going to down a bottle of half a wine a day.
Just to get fucked up.
Just because, you know? And he's drinking on top of that throughout his 24 hours that he has of working day sunlight as prime minister.
Yeah. You just hyped me the fuck up, bro. Yeah. Now I'm going to drink this shit and feel like I'm transferring the knowledge of humanity through this podcast right now. Okay, let me sip on this and let me see what this is.
What's different from this, like straight off the nose, is that you get a lot more acidity. And by acidity, I just mean it's kind of stronger. Like you're getting that like melon rind. Like have you ever bit down on like a watermelon? Into a cantaloupe, like a crazy individual. Like that type of rindiness. Like you're getting that straight off, but it's very different when you put it on your tongue.
How do you like act, like, you know how those people that like smell the wine and do all kinds of crazy shit? What's all that about?
So you switch. So you switch. And the reason why you do this is because, so like this is a Sauvignon Blanc and we're drinking it in a Sauvignon Blanc glass.
Yeah.
So the glassware is designed for the liquid and the liquid is designed for the glassware. But what it does is as you're swishing it, everyone likes to look through it and be like, oh my gosh, bro, like that color is amazing. Like, oh, it's so high in alcohol content.
Yeah.
That is complete and utter myth.
Yeah.
They have no knowledge of wine whatsoever. You can make a comment of like, oh, wow, you know what? If you're training to become a sommelier, like a master's of a person in wine, yes, your blind test, you're totally going to have to do that. You know, you're going to have to smell, you're going to have to look through the glass and look at the color, and then you figure out the taste, and it's kind of like a process of elimination.
Yeah.
But when you're sipping wine to enjoy wine and maybe talk about it in a casual setting, your goal is not to be like, oh yeah, that color go hue must be a Sauvignon Blanc. You're not going to be able to tell, period. So what you do is you depend on your smell and you depend on that taste. So like this hits like the front of your tongue, and the glass, with the way it's shaped, it doesn't hit your teeth first. It hits your tongue first. So immediately,
I did feel it go down my throat right away.
yeah, like right away, it's smooth.
Real quick, Fred, do you mind moving or you, Stevens, the wine bottles because they're right up in your face? No, move them forward, or just out of the way too, whichever one. Just
Why are
because
you stealing my wine, bro?
because they were all up in your face and the camera couldn't see.
No,
it.
that's good.
So fucking bullshit. People need to taste the wine to actually know what the fuck is going on.
Yeah,
This went
don't be afraid
straight
of
down
it.
my throat. Did you
Yeah.
feel that? Did you feel that go right down your throat too? So this is not sweet at all. What's this called? What do you call this?
So this is Substance Sauvignon Blanc, and it's cool because Substance develops lines that they all kind of have that periodic table.
Yeah.
So like SB,
Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me see that.
Sauvignon Blanc,
That's pretty cool.
and it's new to the market. It's different and it's refreshing. But I would look at this bottle after buying it, whether it be a gas station or whether it be a bar or going to Walmart or Specs. I would look at this during the summer and say, hey, you know what? I might be interested, but it's a little too light in color.
Yeah.
But you know what? Still going to go ahead and I'm going to give it a go and I'm going to give it a try.
Yeah.
This, when it's super chilled, super cold, you're sitting outside in El Paso, warm day during our summer.
Yeah.
Perfect. You want to go on a picnic somewhere?
Yeah.
Like, this is a perfect bottle
You
to
know
bring.
what?
And
I
it's
did think about
cost-effective.
that. This is really refreshing. This one and the last one too. It's really, really refreshing. And I really fuck with it. So you're thinking like a charcuterie board at Ascarate Park or what?
Yeah, cute little picnic.
Where does the charcuterie board come from? Like why do people link
Yeah, that's
cheese and crackers with wine, or is it just an aesthetic, like kind of like Etsy fucking?
no, and that's very true. Actually, I should have brought a board with us. That just would have been a little
You
bit
should
hard
have,
to
bro. You should have
bring
brought
in.
a whole ass board.
But
I'll bring one next time from like Walgreens or something. Yeah, we'll bring one.
Yeah.
We'll bring the charcuterie.
so like what happens with humanity over time is we are consumers, and we're consumers of our being, and we're consumers of our demons. That's very true. Where charcuterie comes around, charcuterie is very French in design. But if you think about where we collectively, like growing up, even without like having knowledge of drinking, you know, we're younger than 18.
Yeah.
And we may or may not be exposed to the world of alcohol with our parents or our parents' friends or not.
Yeah, I can say for sure that I was not exposed, at least to the world of wine.
Yeah.
Like besides when I started drinking wine with you, I did. I mean, I drink gas station wine, bro. Like I don't.
Well, no, but when you think about it, like, is wine French?
Yes.
And is French wine? Do we signify like wine with the French?
Yeah.
Okay, well
I
there you
would
go.
say so. Okay.
So similarly, they discovered, and collectively by they, I'm really referring to the people of Europe, discovered that depending on what you have in your mouth, and this is before science came around to be like, oh, your taste buds or the way that you salivate in your mouth, because like what this wine does is
I have been salivating a little bit after drinking this wine. I'm not gonna lie.
It adds more. It adds more in your mouth to break down more complex foods. So charcuterie, I wouldn't necessarily say is French, but definitely from the European hemisphere. And what they discovered is if you have a certain type of fruit in your mouth already, or a piece of cheese or a piece of meat, depending on what it is going to significantly change your experience. You're getting what I like to call that ratatouille effect.
Right.
Because Disney might not get a lot of things right, but lately, our older years, they've been getting a lot of stuff historically accurate. And one of them is Ratatouille. Like, how cool is it that they were able to animate, to physically give a symbol or
a flavor.
A flavor.
Yeah.
And
how do you animate a flavor?
How do you animate a flavor?
That's crazy.
And I can imagine that. And that's why I love that Ratatouille is French, because you're exploring Remy kind of going through and running through the kitchen. And you'll notice he doesn't add stuff in based off a recipe. Like, it has to be like exact. He smells.
What he likes, the taste and the smells.
And from his smell and from his taste, you get a product or something that makes a difference for other people. Now, is everybody going to like it? No.
Probably
like, you
not.
can't just put any cheese with this, or you can't put any meat with it. But if you were to eat it with meat or cheese, you're not going to kill your experience. You're still enhancing it, but are you enhancing it for the better or for the worse? It's not for me or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or whoever to denote or say. It's your palate. It's what you're feeling and tasting. Because I can't animate your palate.
Specific palate. Yeah. That's
but
cool.
We can get close.
That is true, and I mean Disney movies are really good at that, at like kind of putting into words things that people certainly feel but don't know how to articulate themselves. Yeah. So that's cool. Let me throw out there another trivia question for you, because it was kind of relevant to what we were talking about. Oh shit. Hold on. In the podcast, you're just gonna hear a bunch of fucking record scratching because Stevens is doing that shit.
Gotta swish around.
What country?
The swish. What
country in the world? What country in the world has the most winery space, or just like the most acres of vineyards?
So here's a cool fact for you on this, since we're in Texas.
Yeah.
California, as a state alone, has over 9,000 different wineries.
Really?
Texas is coming on the verge of either just having 1,000 or breaking 2,000. Okay, that's just California and Texas. We have not made it our business or like our culture to be in the world of wine, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like California is very touristic, very naval based, and then I would probably say wine is like their third leading market outside of maybe like technology as well.
Right.
Texas, completely different story. We're oil, cattle, you name it.
Yeah.
France. Why? Am I confident in that? And France might not be the exact one. If you were to take a look at the map of France and just see how many different vineyards they have and the way that they segregate their vineyards. So when we think of a vineyard as Americans, we're thinking like rolling hills of acreage, of grapevines, and that's a cool concept. But in France, that's the same thing. But there's a significant difference. That entire rolling hill could be 150, 300 different chateaus.
Wow!
Just in that one little hill, and they're all respectively.
What's a chateau for the people?
A chateau
for those people that I totally know what it is. For those people that don't, what is it?
Chateau translates to like a castle. Okay. So you have like chateau and you have maison. So maison means house or home. And theoretically, so does chateau. Yeah. But chateau is more prestigious, to where like you're looking at a property in the U.S. I would say is like a 6-digit property, and north of that, like you're in the hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars.
Right.
So
I only look at those properties. Yeah.
Well, I hope you do. That's a dream, bro.
Okay, so which country do you think
France.
has the most? France, Spain.
You know, and this makes sense.
Spain, baby. Yeah.
Well, no, and you want to know something insane?
Yeah.
And that totally makes sense. For the entire history of Spain as a country, as a nation, or as an identity, right, was not actually Spain. It was Islamic and Muslim controlled for a millennia.
Oh, wow.
But think about it. In this culture, in this religion, they don't drink. They don't consume. So they don't produce alcohol in their culture. So in the span of less than 1,000 years, Spain has been able to completely redevelop themselves as a nation and an identity. Yeah. Now you're getting these really bold Tempranillos,
that's
Riojas.
Crazy.
Like, it's such
the history of the world in fucking wine. You feel me? That's insane.
Amen.
That's crazy. Wow, that's really cool to think about, man.
But that makes sense.
Yeah. That shit's crazy, man. That's why I wish I had studied. I mean, I try to study history as much as I can.
No, you're philosophical.
Yeah, I'm
you
philosophical.
Surround yourself with history people.
Yeah. I'm more philosophical than historian, but I do get a lot of cool glimpses of shit like that. I mean, a lot of philosophers were generals, were conquerors, were teachers and professors. So I do catch a lot of cool shit like that, and I really appreciate it a lot, just because it gives you a whole new different perspective on the things that you thought. And you can get it from anything, man. Like, I remember when I used to work at Adidas, and they used to talk about the technologies of just shoes and where they come from, and like different stories about different athletes going through different like Olympics and situations where they would come up with issues about their foot and they didn't know how to express it until a scientist came along and listened to these things. And they would talk about, where I come from in Africa, this is a very common injury that we all have because we all run up hills and shit like that, because that's how we like transport water and shit like that. Like, it's really cool snippets of history that you can get. Me, while I was working at fucking at the outlets at Adidas that just got these really cool, enriching stories. Just by paying attention, because they told these stories to everybody, but they flew over everybody's head. So I think it's really cool. I mean, really, wine is just a product of history. You feel me? Like, it's a product of shit that people do.
Yeah,
It's
just as
popular
much
for a
as your
reason.
shirt is, your hoodie, your hat.
100%, you could get it
yeah.
from anything. I mean, you know, you just, I feel like wine is just, since it's something that you consume, it's like food, like cuisine, right? You get a lot of history out of that. And it's something that you can actually taste and something that you can make in your house and stuff like that. So that's really cool.
Well, and it's so unique because, like, I'm not expecting to go to China, okay?
Mhm.
And I'm not, like, this is not a political podcast, okay? But if you think about China, and you and Ariana are going to plan a cute little honeymoon, you just got married, and you're going to go out there and you're going to have a blast, right?
Yeah.
But are you going to be exposed to the Hispanic culture in China? Probably not, which also means that your chances of finding a tequila or a sotol or mezcal, they're not going to have that. And it's not because they don't know about it or it's not there. It's just, it's not a part of their culture. It's not what they drink. It's not what they enjoy. Wine, however, has not just traversed the globe. It's a part of the human experience. That's why it's so sociable. That's why you see all these high, like 1% of the world when they get together. Like, yeah, they might get sloshed. You know, they're drinking. They're having big debates and discussions. Majority of the time, you're not going to see a spirit on the table. You're going to see a bottle of wine.
A bottle of wine. Yeah. You know what? There's this really awesome author that I like. His name is what's it? Paulo Coelho. He's the one that wrote The Alchemist. And I really, really like the way that he incorporates, because a lot of his stuff is Spanish, is from Spain. And he incorporates wine into all the deep conversations that he's having. So whenever they're having these conversations, he's talking about how, like, oh, there's a bottle of wine and now we got another one and now we got another one. Every point that he makes the conversation deeper and deeper and deeper, he talks about the wine as if it's like, that's like a metric of like how deep the conversation is getting, or how like the camaraderie is like happening. He always mentions the wine, and something that I noticed throughout reading a lot of his books, but then when I started researching into like people who have book clubs about his books and stuff like that, they talk about that too, and how he incorporates wine into the social connection that people are having in these conversations. It's really cool. It's like a metric that he's using, and I thought that was really fun. You can almost like taste the wine that with the conversations that they're having. That's really cool, and I think that's, I don't know, I didn't even think about that till right now, you know. So that's really cool.
Well, and when you apply it, we're social creatures.
100%. Yeah,
therefore,
it's like built for us. You know what I mean? It's like, I
Yeah,
am
there you
wine
go.
and wine is me.
if we're social creatures, what can we do to enhance our shared social experience?
Right.
And
That's
that's
really cool.
unique, because you don't share a bottle of tequila,
Yeah.
but you can
I
share
drink
a
that
bottle
shit
of
all by
wine.
myself. I had it in my closet and I go take shots while nobody's looking. What do you say we move on to the next bottle of wine?
Oh, you got to finish what you got in that glass first.
Yeah,
sir.
let me finish this shit, bro. Do you mind pouring, friend? Oh, trivia. That just reminded me. Hold on, I'm always fighting this fucking mic, bro.
So I did that on purpose so that way you guys, we talked about it earlier, you could hear about the pop. So like that bottle has been opened, but it's been vacuum sealed. So the oxygen has been taken out of it. And a lot of people turn around, they're like, I don't believe that works. But now you heard it. Now you know it does.
Oh, fuck.
So obviously not your favorite. So I'm not going to ever recommend a
Thank you for
Sauvignon Blanc to
No,
you.
I'm not saying I don't like it. I like it. I'm just, you know, at the end of the day, I'm drinking alcohol. Allegedly. For any UTEP administration that's watching this, allegedly. Yeah. Okay, so about that cork. How fast can a cork fly out of a champagne bottle? Little trivia question for you.
One of the first times that I was at Social, we had a private event, and one of the hostesses comes up to me and she's like, "Hey, excuse me, sir, could you saber off this wine?" And I'm like, "What in the flying hell is she talking about?" And I'm like, "Well, I got a sword in my truck. Don't ask. I'm a history major. Get over it." So I had a sword in my truck. I'm like,
Yeah,
you know what?
I know
we're
what
gonna,
fucking
we're gonna
swords-
saber this off.
I know what swords you're fucking talking about, bro. You shouldn't
No.
be using them to fucking pop champagne bottles, bro. This fucking guy.
Well, and so this is cool. You cannot cut off a cork from any other wine bottle the way that you can do champagne.
Yeah.
So champagne, when it's processed and distilled and put into a bottle, no matter the size, no matter the quality of the champagne,
Yeah.
champagne is champagne. It's a bubbly version of wine.
You know
that
what? I was
is
gonna ask you that. I
compressed
was
in a
gonna
bottle.
ask you what is champagne and what's the difference
Yeah.
between champagne, because when I was researching questions about wine, half of them were about champagne. So
Yeah.
I
No,
have
and
them
it
mixed in.
and it makes a lot of sense because when you think about, again, like wine is a part of the history of who we are collectively as humanity. Everywhere the Romans went, when they were conquering Europe and they were going and moving from country to country to country,
Yeah.
or what we would consider that, they would not just build roads, they would plant grapes along the way. And that's how wine was
Wow.
able to spread throughout Europe. And we charged that to the Roman Empire.
Like a violent Johnny Appleseed.
Yeah, no, literally. Don't tell
Like-
Big Sam our secret, okay?
their secret. That story's not American. That story's fucking
Yeah.
French
So,
or European or whatever.
Champagne is, in order for it to be a champagne,
Yeah.
it has to come from Champagne, France.
Oh,
or
really?
To be genuinely called an actual champagne.
Like tequila has to come from tequila.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
come from tequila.
Wow, I didn't know that. What about whiskey?
Well, whiskey is a unique entity, right? So the Irish are always going to claim that they developed whiskey, and we'll give the Irish that. You know, they don't have a
Yeah.
lot. They have potatoes, and then they have whiskey.
Yeah.
So we'll give them their whiskey and
We'll
their
give 'em
potatoes,
whiskey,
okay? But what's really cool about that is that the Irish actually kind of began to open up the world into a different type of spirits, and that's how you get Scotch, and that's how in America you get bourbon. And for the longest time, like put it this way of how quickly this moves. In order for a bourbon to be called a bourbon, it has to be distilled within the state of Kentucky. And recently,
That's
we have
crazy.
in our government, in Congress, in the House and in the Senate, there is a committee for bourbon. In other
Wow.
words, you as a private entrepreneur, you want to start up your own line, your own company. So you decide Lechuga wants to develop wrapped whiskey spirits.
Yeah.
Okay. So you make that, you throw it in the heart of Texas, and that's it. Well, guess what? Wheat and barley, can they grow in Texas? Yes. But where do they grow their best? On the East Coast of the U.S. So you're going to import wheat and barley from the East Coast to Texas and then maybe utilize natural rainwater in order to develop your spirit on a copper still or a stainless steel vat to get a whiskey.
Jesus Christ.
But in order for it to be a bourbon, it has to be in a barrel longer. You have to
Yeah.
expose it to different woods. You have to expose it to a different distilling process.
That's so insane.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was anything that. I mean, I knew it was complicated. I knew it was very complicated. And wow, I'm feeling these fucking wines, man.
No,
Holy
you should.
shit,
We're not
dude.
even halfway through.
We're not even halfway through, man. Fuck, dude, you're gonna get a lot out of me, bro. So I feel like
No,
if
and
you
that's
have any
fine.
questions to ask, just Stevens, he should ask them right now. Man, I'm really feeling. So what am I drinking right now? What am I tasting? What the fuck is this?
That's a great question. So this is Krios, Crios, and Krios.
Oh, is this what's in the rappers' music videos?
I have no idea. The only rapper that I know of that has their own brand is Snoop Dogg. Good luck with 19 crimes.
19 crimes. That sounds like a Snoop Dogg alcoholic beverage.
Okay, so this
Ciroc.
is cool.
Ciroc is what I'm thinking.
Yeah, Ciroc.
Yeah.
So Krios, this brand we brought out because I think it's very unique. And as you have discovered, so there's this connotation between old world wine and new world wine. And what's unique about new world wines, and it's exactly what comes to your mind,
Yeah.
is like the Roman Catholic Church at one point separated the old world and the new world in terms of the age of discovery.
Yeah.
So everything north of this line is yours, everything south is ours, you name it. And that kind of methodology has seemed to have passed over into the world of wine now. So Krios is a very unique wine because it's a homegrown wine. It's a family that
Really?
is running this vineyard
Oh.
in Argentina.
Okay.
So when I refer what we do at Social Market, what we refer to Hispanic wines, we're not just talking about Mexico. We're talking about Mexico as in Mexico and Mesoamerica, Latin America, South America, Portugal, Spain,
Wow.
places where the Spanish culture has influenced heavily their way of life. And this is one of them. So this is what is considered, and I know I'm going to butcher the name. It's a Torrentes or a Torrientes. I'm not entirely sure how you would. I mean, you can give it a shot
Yeah, I'll give
on
it
the
a shot.
bottom of the bottle if you want.
I think you got it. Torrentes.
Yeah, Torrentes.
Torontes.
Torrentes.
Torrontes.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta roll your R's a little bit with this bitch.
So like this one, like you're getting, like it's almost crystal clear. Like it's like white through the glass.
Yeah, it is. It
Um,
is. I almost couldn't see. I thought I was
yeah.
drinking water. You feel me?
Well, and like that first sip that you took, like I saw your reaction, like
Yeah.
it hit, right?
Yeah, it
You're
hit
like,
me,
whoa,
yeah.
that's strong. And you're getting a lot
Every
of
single
that.
one of this is hitting me, bro.
You're getting a lot of that acidity, but think about it. When you think
Yep.
about the country of Argentina, Argentina is surrounded by mountains, right? And,
Uh-huh.
and high mountains from
Yeah.
the end of the Andes that passes along through Chile. But where Argentina is located, where Brazil is at as well, you have lowlands. So you have all these heavy, both Pacific and Atlantic Ocean winds that are coming and brushing up against the country with
man.
some light, heavy rains.
I can feel
Think about New Zealand almost, like Lord of the Rings level.
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're traversing through the mountains
Yeah.
and those open landscapes. This is where this wine would be developed and grown. And it's unique because you get salt right off of that. You get that minerality is what we would call it.
Wow.
And then you get that acidity because of the weather patterns.
Yeah.
You know, grapes do their best and produce or show their best when they struggle the most.
That's
I know that's deep, but
deep as fuck, man. And I consider myself a deep person, bro. When's the first time? Do you remember the first time that you got drunk off of wine, or do you remember the first time you got drunk, like ever? I feel like I don't know for some
that's
reason.
a great story.
for some
you've
reason,
never heard that story.
I feel like you got drunk at like 11, bro.
Actually, you're not far off. At 12.
At 12?
At 12. So this is
Damn.
funny as hell. So I was born and raised in a Christian school, and I don't recommend that to anybody's children. It's a great experience, but ultimately, if you want them to become a person of the world or have a better understanding of the people around them, you need to put them in public school. And it's not because of the
Oh
bullying
yeah, that's
or
where
the
the
struggle.
fuck shit is, bro.
Well, no, I think it's just you're more exposed and you mature a lot quicker than what you would in a private school. But we were taught from a very young age that alcohol is bad, that we're not going to get into it. Like, yeah, Jesus made wine, and that was it. That was our exposure in high school. Well, at 12 years old, my mom is a significant alcoholic for a large portion of her life and a big portion of my life. And ultimately, what it came down to was Game of Thrones came out,
Yeah.
and I watched the first episode at the age of 12, and I'm like, I don't know if I like this. And then the next episode came out, and the next episode came out. So I watched 3 in a row, and I'm like, you know what? This is awesome. I want to drink some wine. They're all drinking wine in the show, bro. So I want a glass of wine. So I raided my mom's liquor cabinet,
Yeah.
and I opened up a bottle of, I think it was like 14 hands, like Cab or Merlot. Super basic gas station wine.
Yeah.
Opened that up, and I drank the whole thing, and I'm like, "Ooh, I'm feeling good." And I went to
Hey.
bed. And I kind of did that, you know, whenever an episode of Game of Thrones came out, you know, I had a bottle of wine or a glass of wine, and I
Yeah.
went through, and that was life for a while until 18, and
That
all
was
of a
life
sudden,
for a while.
yeah, for a while. Hey, 6 years, bro. Like, that's a while, man.
Yeah.
And but that's how much, like, every Sunday night, like,
you
it
know,
was Game of Thrones.
that's crazy too, because I feel like you were exposed to it in a completely different way. I feel like a lot of
Yeah.
people are just they don't have any alcohol until they go to their first party. They're like unsupervised by their parents, which is
Yeah.
kind of what happened to me, but not so much. But you're not supervised. You just start pounding, and you don't know how this is gonna make you feel. All of a sudden, you think you can take 4 shots. You think you can handle them because you took them, but then 40 minutes later, you're fucked
Yeah, you're
because
like,
you don't
"Oh,
know how
whoa."
this alcohol is going to hit you.
Well, and that's and that shows and put it like we are product of a decision that was made in the past.
Yeah.
Prohibition in the U.S., right? Nobody made alcohol. The federal government came in and said, "Oh yeah, this not happening.
It's of the devil, and
It's
it
of the
makes people
devil. We don't want to do it. Like,
Yeah.
we're done." But
Yeah.
that meant that it was a federal crime to
To-
make and have and drink,
Uh-huh.
consume, you name it, distribute
shotgun and
completely. But
snort
that's where
through your
we
nose and shit.
And that's where we as a country got this law after we got rid of prohibition.
Yeah.
That's when we began to get the law of, you know what, hey, you got to be 21 or older to drink and consume wine publicly.
Yeah.
Or not just wine, just drink and consume,
Yeah. And
period.
yeah, period. Yeah.
Yeah. But if you look at countries like in Europe and Germany where, you know, you as a 16-year-old, you're in high school at that age or what their equivalent to high school there.
Yeah.
You're of age, you can't just walk in and get any type of beer, any type of wine, or any type of spirit. At 16 years old, you hand over your state-issued ID, and you're like, hey, like, here you go. And you can get what's considered light beers.
Light beers.
So that's like less than 5%. Very, very Utah, Mormon.
That's such
like
a different regulation.
3%.
That's such a different regulation that I feel like exposes some kids to, because I feel like it's kind of fucked when like they've been waiting forever till 21, which is forever.
Yeah.
When do you start partying? Like at 16? 16 to 21 is a fuck ton of time.
But when you think about it, like, you have a 16-year-old that just exposed, you just legally expose them comfortably
to
light beers,
beer,
right?
Yeah.
And then by the time that they're 18, then it's a different story. You get a higher percentage. You're a little bit older, and then when you're 21, it's free world. So you're exposing alcohol to people at a younger age. And to be honest with you, if I wasn't exposed to alcohol at a younger age, by every way of science, of theology, of, well, your mom's an alcoholic and then alcoholism runs in your family.
Right.
To this day, I should be not just a functioning alcoholic, but I should be waking up, and because of my genetics, because of my ancestry, I should be waking up, and this is how I would get through my day.
Right.
I have broken barriers through that because I didn't fall into this like that. And college significantly helped that because
100%.
I learned my limit prior to going to parties.
Yeah.
I knew what I could consume to kind of get that buzz or get that feeling.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to get to, because I remember my family was the same way. I mean, but the first time that I got drunk was kind of like an outlier off of that, because I remember my family would be the same way. They'd be like, okay, take a sip of this. Like New Year's Eve when I was like 13, I could have champagne. They would let me drink like carne asadas with like a little beer, like at the Tecate or like whatever. But they would watch how much I drank, and I was around them. You feel me? Like they wouldn't just give me a bottle of tequila and let me loose in the world and fucking start fucking around. Like they watched me, they took care of me and stuff. And it was my family, so it's coming from like a good place. The first time I got drunk was at a party, and I had like I think like 8 Tecates it was Budweiser's, and I threw up in the bathroom. And I cleaned it up and everything. So that was a completely different story. The first time I got drunk was a different, dude. I that was insane, bro. Like, I was trying to like impress like the girls or whatever. I don't fucking know, but like, it was the first time I was like at a, like I think I was like 15, and like I just started pounding Budweisers because it was just a fridge full. But and I paid $20 to get into the party, so I was gonna fucking drink. You feel me?
Well, and that's a very American approach, like to the drinking experience.
Yeah, 100%. It's such a slap in the face. You feel me? Like, and it's pretty dangerous for most people. Like, it's just it's a horrible way. And I feel like you drinking wine while you're watching Game of Thrones is like the most like.
Well, and that was
like
probably
chill.
more of like a chill, like responsible vibe. But my mom will like never forget the first time I was drunk because
no, I believe
like
that.
my mom has a shot of tequila, just a shot, and then maybe a shot of vodka. And guess what's gonna happen to her? She for her is already tipsy.
Okay.
For me and for you, that ain't gonna do shit.
No, it's not gonna do anything for me. I mean, maybe when I was fucking 16, it would.
Yeah, 16, it might have done something, but
not anymore. I'm a big boy now.
Well, and I got 2 younger brothers. Like one right now is 16, the other's going on 15, right? And when I was younger than them, like I never asked my mom or my dad for alcohol. It's just my mom had a bottle of wine and I helped myself. Like I was at home, and it's not costly. Like it was cheap wine, so it wasn't that big of an issue. So like the 16-year-old like asked me like, hey, like bro, like I want you to teach me how can I develop a tolerance. So I'm like, I'm not. Because I don't want you to feel like you have to do that in order to have fun, in order to be social.
Oh, that's cool.
You're already social.
It's because he doesn't know. You feel me?
He doesn't know. But that's what our culture is in America. That's what these kids are.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So I told him, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna help you discover your tolerance.
Right.
But I'm gonna help you discover your tolerance in a way where we're doing it legal because I'm the older brother. You are family. You're my younger brother. So we fall within the legal age, and you can go out and you can drink when I am present or when mom and dad are present.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And he was able to discover like, whoa, like I feel lighter, like I feel warm, and I'm like, all right, so we're gonna stop.
All right, we're going
gonna
home.
Stop right there. Well, no, we're not gonna go home.
Get some
So
Whataburger in this boy.
I took him to a different club where there was a lot more music, and I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
how do you feel now that we've changed
Oh,
environments?
100%.
And he's
yeah.
like, well, I feel very light, like I feel like dancing, I feel like moving. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
So now you know what the sociability aspect of what the alcohol can do. But if you were to drink two to three more drinks more from where we left you off,
Yeah.
not only is it going to make it worse for you, but that's when as you continue your night, you no longer remember things.
Yeah,
You
exactly.
forget about stuff. You're
All of a
like,
sudden
whoa,
you're-
wait a minute. Like,
All of a
hey,
sudden you're
hey,
calling your
Lechuga,
ex,
what
you're
happened
making
last night?
fucking- You're tipping $20 at the bar. You feel me? Yeah, am I drinking
Yeah.
this correctly? I feel like I'm tipping this too much, but is this
No, it is correct. Unfortunately, you and I have really big noses, so being able to put our lips and our nose in the same drink compared to like Ariana can do, and like Fred, you have a big nose too. You can't fucking talk shit.
That's what the fuck it is.
It's rough, but that is the appropriate glass because the smaller the nose of the glass is, and it's designed for that on purpose. It touches and it hits your palate directly.
Yeah.
But it keeps.
Oh boy, this mic
the
is getting a whole lot of
crispness.
flavor of fucking wine right now.
No.
What bottle are we in, bro? Should we move on
glass,
to-
the
should we-
glass to your we're moving up to the
moving-
big boy glasses.
Moving on to the
okay?
big boy.
We're moving over to the big boy glasses.
Oh, is this already Fred? Oh,
Yeah.
Thank you so much, man. Oh, so you drink different wines with different glasses? Or was I just taking too long and you just
No.
fucking poured another one?
So I only brought 2 glasses today, as per the advice of our sommelier, Charlie.
Right.
So like the bigger glass Lechuga has in his hand is what you would consider is a grand sommelier glass, and what that means is that is a regular cab glass, but it's like multiplied by 4 to be big. But
Okay.
any type of
I was
like
gonna say this shit is regular. What the fuck?
like any type of big wine, like you're talking
Word.
like you're walking into a liquor store and you're buying a wine that is 3 digits and higher, I would recommend
wow.
this for you, especially like
you
your
know,
reds.
that was one of my questions: is how to get the most like bang for your buck when you go to like a place and you
Absolutely,
order
yeah.
like a wine.
Mhm.
Like, at what range do you feel is appropriate for? Like, let's say
Yeah.
you're going out for
That's a
like a
good question.
fancy dinner.
Mm-hmm.
About how much do you think the cups of wine are gonna run you that you think are? I mean, I guess it's a little bit more complicated because we'd have to talk about specific dinners that you're having for.
Well,
like a specific event.
not even specific dinners. What it comes down to is that like there's 4 of us in the studio right now. So if the 4 of us are
Here,
going to be
let's cheer because we
our-
haven't cheered. We haven't cheered. Cheers!
if the 4 of us are all going to be drinking the exact same wine, then it makes no sense for Ariana to have
Look
one
at how
glass.
look at how nice my nose fits in this.
Oh no, it
fucking
fits
little-
brilliant. Yeah, it's awesome.
You see how I kept my fucking eyesight like level?
Yeah,
I was
level.
taking a fucking
So like if Ariana comes up to the table and she's like, you know what, I want a Pinot Noir, and then Fred comes up and he's like, you know what, I want a Tempranillo, and then I sit down, I'm like, fuck y'all, I want a fucking Beaujolais.
Yeah.
And then you turn around and you're like, oh, I want a deep red Bordeaux. Okay, you got 4 different classifications of fucking wine. Well, the reality is that you can kind of turn around and be like, yeah, you know what, let's all order a glass of each and just see what happens.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Try to figure out, you know what, could we agree to a light red or a dark red?
Oh, so
And then-
everybody gets something, like the whole table gets something together. We all try
Yes,
something.
and then we all try to get something together because
Oh,
it's
wow.
more cost
I
effective
didn't
rather
even
than
fucking think
just
about
buy the
that.
glass.
Yeah, because I guess we're opening different bottles. We're getting from different instead of just getting one bottle and then sharing it as a.
It's more cost effective.
Yeah.
It's easier on everybody's budget, and in every bottle of wine, like typically, okay, there's about 4 glasses. 4 glasses. So if there's 4 of us, you know, a bottle of wine is a glass each. But
Glass each, yeah.
I'm only paying tax once. I'm not paying tax
Right.
4 times.
Word. Damn, you're fucking I didn't even think about that shit.
Yeah,
Damn, that's crazy.
it's entertaining that.
Oh, I had a question, bro, but I fucking forgot it. Oh shit. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done or you've been tricked to do while you were drunk?
Oh, this shit's funny as hell. So when I get drunk, my accents come out, and I think that's pretty obvious.
Dude, I remember one time Stevens and I were in a fucking car. I think we were drinking in a hot tub. I didn't know that when you drink in a hot tub, it like you get fucked up like super quick.
Oh yeah.
Cause like I don't
Was
know.
that with Garibai?
Yeah, it was
That
with
was-
Garibai. Yeah. You know what's crazy too? It was freezing outside, and we went to his hot tub and we were drinking it. And I remember I was just sipping on some cranberry vodka that he bought specifically for me, bro. What a sweetheart.
Yeah, he
Like,
loves you, bro.
yeah, I know. He specifically bought like a whole like 2. I don't know how much this motherfucker thinks that I drink, but he bought 2 bottles of cranberry juice just for me, and then a whole bottle of vodka. I remember we went to the hot tub, and I got obscenely drunk, and I didn't even drink half of my drink.
Mhm.
It was because of the hot tub. I didn't even know that got you even more fucked up.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
There's a science to that, but I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, if your body is a higher temperature and you're consuming alcohol, like alcohol is going to cause your blood vessels to dilate, like expand. So alcohol gets absorbed into your bloodstream a lot quicker
Oh,
when
there you
you're
go.
when you're in a hotter
Uh-huh.
environment than what you would be in a colder environment.
Oh.
Why do you think all the Russians drink vodka? Because
Drink
vodka is like what 80-90% proof. Like, of course, vodka is gonna get them sloshed,
When
but
you're
you drink
freezing.
vodka in like the dead heat of the desert sun in El Paso.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, like like my one Tito's and soda or Crown vodka might
Yeah.
just put me in, but it's because you're warmer. It's because it's being absorbed in your system a lot easier.
Wow. There we
Dumbest thing drunk though, the rapping experience with you in that
Oh,
vehicle,
that's where I was
that
going.
was
We started
that was one
rapping.
of them for sure.
Yeah.
We were in Austin on Lake Travis, and I was,
as one usually is.
and I was with my
When you're
2
in
younger
Austin.
brothers. We were hosting some friends of our moms, and I got the 3 of us being the older kids. Like the 3 of us are all in college. The other 2 are at Texas Tech, and we got fucked up. So they left, and then eventually I was looking across the dock, and I saw this big ass fucking yacht with all these colors, and they were fucking playing Bad Bunny, bro. So I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Like,
You swam over
no,
it?
no, it
You're
was
like,
it
"Oh."
was worse than that. So I had this brilliant idea.
Uh-huh.
You know what? I don't want to get wet, so the 3 of us, like, let's hop on the jet ski. And so, bro, I'm taking my 2 younger fucking brothers to a fucking stranger's yacht that I have no fucking idea what they are walking into,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So we fucking walk. So we get on this jet ski, and it's me and the middle brother first. So I'm driving, the middle brother's behind me, and then we scoot down so Major can get on. Well,
Do you mind if we start pouring the next?
yeah,
part?
no, absolutely. We're gonna go to Red's. No, let's start with the Beaujolais. Yeah, let's go that one.
Oh yeah, baby, chug that shit.
I'll talk about the white wine once I'm done with the story, and we'll get into this guy.
Yeah.
So, what's fun about that is, so the 3 of us are told, if you ever fucking get on a jet ski, you need to have a fucking life jacket. Like, that's our parents' policy, which
Yeah.
is respectable because
Yeah.
there's a lot of drownings that happen.
Yeah,
okay?
100%.
So we get on this. The 3 of us get on this jet ski.
I have a
No
j-
life jackets.
I have
okay?
a jet ski story too, but go ahead.
So we get on this, okay, and we scoot down, and we tell the baby bro, like, hey bro, step right, do not step left. What does the motherfucker do? Steps left.
Steps
So we
fucking
got
left, bro.
the
Oh.
ski off the ramp, bro, and here we are in the dead of night. Okay, get it undocked. Okay, we're floating. He steps left, and the fucking entire thing just flips over. And all 3 of us.
No.
This is a show
Yeah.
how intelligent we were about it. We all had our phones in our pockets. So the 3 of us just lost all of our phones. So our phones were
No.
done. We're like,
Yeah.
no, fuck it. We want to go see this yacht. We're going to check it out.
Check it out.
So we finally re-tip it over, and we all get on, and we drive over, and we ask the Capitan, can we come aboard and whatnot. And these motherfuckers are sloshed.
No way.
Beyond. He's like, yeah, like, we'll give you a tour. And I made sure to keep Kenny and Major close
Sick.
to me, because I'm like,
I feel
no,
like a
no.
yacht party. There's like coke and Molly and fucking
Dude,
like
we-
prostitutes and shit, bro.
This yacht is 4 decks. Okay.
Oh my god.
4
There's
decks.
definitely coke in there, bro.
And some of the rooms, like, we got the full tour. So the owner of the boat, like, takes us down and through, and like he would open certain rooms and doors, and I would look in, and I'm like,
Damn.
oh no, I'm shutting that door.
Yeah.
Like, they don't
Yeah.
need to see this.
No one needs to see what's in there.
But
Damn,
it-
we would just be
it
like, this is a room where we fucking.
No.
like,
But
let me close that real quick.
it was such a teaching experience for them, because they would see me drink with mom and dad, like,
Yeah.
we're having a boat day and I'm having fun. Like, I'm not drinking to get drunk. I'm drinking just to enjoy myself.
Having a boat day
And
this fucking
then they saw the complete opposite of what it means to drink,
drink,
and
to
get fucked
fucking-
up
yeah.
and like that is your line. And it's not necessarily that it's entirely bad or always bad all the time. It's just you have to moderate yourself. You have to understand, what your surroundings in and
Yeah.
what you're exposing other fucking people to. Like you don't.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%,
you
bro.
gotta-
Like
it's got to
what
be
you're
a calm
exposing other
environment.
people.
It's a fun environment.
What you're exposing other people to in the concept of alcohol, but also in like yourself. You know what I mean? Like what you're like when you drink alcohol. What you're like when you're in that party alcohol drinking environment. What the fuck? What is this? Explain to me what is this? Obviously, we're going into a different colored
No,
wine.
true. All right, so let me. So
I
I'll
feel
wrap
like
up.
this is what I drink with like a salad. Does that?
Not entirely wrong. So let me wrap up because we didn't talk about the last one. So the last white that we had in this glass was considered a white Bordeaux
Okay.
or a Blanc Bordeaux,
Okay.
which is very unique and different for France because when people hear Bordeaux, they're thinking, or Burgundy, they're thinking red wine like this, not
Yeah.
necessarily this color, but that's, you hear Bordeaux, you associate it with the color or shades of red.
Right.
But the Chateau Ducasse is completely different. Chateau Ducasse is completely different, mainly due to just how light it is, how the color kind of changes, and I mean, it still looks fucking white on the screen. Oh, with that background, hold on, I gotta figure out. There you go.
There's a little bit
Like,
in there. Let me
little
drink, let me
bit
drink
yellow
that fucking. Do you mind if I?
I don't mind.
Do you mind if I drink it?
Do it.
Someone get this mic. It's fucking fine.
So, white Bordeaux's are new. They're different. They're unique. But white Bordeaux's
Fucking
are
Bordeaux as fuck, bro.
refreshing. They're really good in color. Like I don't know, like Ariana and Fred, what y'all thought about it, but
It's
compared-
Adriana. It has a D in there.
Ariana. Okay,
Adriana.
I'm white. I can't roll my R's and I can't roll my D's.
That's all good, bro.
okay? So I'm trying the best I can. Okay.
She gets really mad when people don't get her name correctly. Bro, so.
Do you go by a nickname? Do you have a nickname? No, I'm Texas. What's your nickname?
Her nickname is
Oh, I know, not coming from me. I don't know why. I don't want to know what nicknames y'all have. I'm good, bro. It's okay.
So-
We know Love Muffin.
So what about this one? What? So trivia question for you before I ask.
Yeah,
the
go
question,
for it, bro.
Before I ask the question that I'm gonna ask. How many different colors can wine be?
Oh shit! Like over 70, 80?
The fuck no.
No, big time.
Well, that's not what I have here.
Well, according to men, we look at one shade of red on a lipstick, and we're like, yeah, that's red. It's
That's
like,
red.
no, it's
Oh,
salmon.
I see what
Like-
you. Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, maybe different shades and shit. Yeah. I mean, core colors. I'm gonna list them out. Obviously, red and wine, and then rose, which is like pinkish.
Yeah, rosé. Yeah,
Orange.
true.
and-
Blue.
and blue.
Yeah.
So 5.
So 5. Yeah, I mean 5 main colors, like absolutely.
Another trivia question. Because we're running out of time, and I really want to get through the trivia questions. It's the most important thing to me right now is the trivia questions.
All right. What you got?
How many grapes does it take to make a standard bottle of wine?
Ooh. So we refer to those as clusters. So clusters of grapes.
Oh, clusters of grapes.
Clusters. So clusters is kind of like that shit that you saw in like those paintings in Romans times where they're like
They're
holding like a whole thing of grapes and over like a
Stop
human.
kicking the fucking
and
bag. The whole time that you're kicking the bags, I think that it's somebody coming through the door. I'm fucking scared because we're not supposed to have half of the shit that we got right now. So every time that you've been kicking those bags, I keep thinking that it's somebody that's coming in the door. But I know they have keys. Like I was like, they would have come in by now if they really wanted to come in. But it keeps freaking me out.
I mean, can you text the guy like, hey, can I have an additional like 30 minutes?
As there's gonna be people here like at 6.
At 6?
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be fine.
No, I know we're
yeah, we'll
good.
be done by 5:40.
Yeah,
How
we're
about that?
good. We're
Okay,
good.
we'll
We're
shoot
good.
for 5:40.
Yeah. What were we talking about? How many
You-
clusters of grapes do you think?
I would say that a good bottle of wine would probably have about 1.5 to 2 clusters of grapes.
How much is that though? Like how many?
How many bro? Like I don't fucking look at a cluster and it's like how many grape balls are a part of this? Like I'm not no.
I got like so.
They go into barrels of wine.
How
like,
many grapes do you think you? How many grapes do you think? 420. Okay, that's a good
Great
number.
guess.
500.
I'm gonna say 200.
Whoa, 200.
Hey,
bro.
look
200
at that.
grapes. I didn't mean by good number. I didn't mean he was close. I just meant like a good number. Like that's a good number. Okay, let me down this and then we'll move on to the next one. What's
Yeah.
this one called? Sorry, we didn't even get to this
So
one.
this is what is considered a Beaujolais. So a Beaujolais is a red wine that is part of both an early and a late harvest in France. In Beaujolais,
Alright.
France.
You know, when I looked up like wine questions to ask, the harvest came up a lot. Like when was it harvested and shit like that.
So like
that
yeah.
came up. I didn't know how to articulate
no,
that
no.
in the
You're
question.
good.
That was both informative and funny, which is what I try to the balance that I try to have in this podcast. So I don't have a lot of those, but
So Beaujolais is something that I would consider is a late red wine harvest, and it's unique and different, mainly because like yes, like it is French. I am looking at the camera to see if it's
Oh,
in there, and
fucking
I'll
God.
give the bottle to you.
give that shit to me over here, bro. I'm gonna top this bitch off.
So like Beaujolais, what you should be getting as you're drinking it should be a little bit lighter on the palate, should be different in its
Definitely
structure, and
lighter on
it's
the palate,
smooth.
yeah.
It's kind of almost
Super
like
smooth.
semi-sweet, right? And that's very intentional. So you brought up harvest. So like German wines or Eiswein or like a Donfedler or just German wine in general
Yeah.
is going to be sweeter. And the reason being is they harvest the same time that the French do. But what happens is they're looking at harvesting during the winter. So all of a sudden you have this cluster of grapes that we
Wow.
talked about earlier.
Yeah, I didn't even know that
And-
was a fucking harvesting during the winter.
Yeah, and what happens is for Germany during the winter is that they're scaling cliffs by hand with a rope with a big
Wow.
basket, and they're pulling these grapes. But
Wow.
it's the grape as the fruit, right?
Yeah.
But there's an outer shell of ice and water. So Germany includes all of that. So when they go to take that grape to harvest, they include all that ice and all that water.
Wow,
And
that's
what it
fucking cool.
what it produces for the white grapes is this brilliant golden hue. It's like almost like it looks like pure, like you're drinking gold in a
Yeah.
glass, but that's a late ice like winter harvest.
Damn.
Beaujolais is not just Beaujolais because of a late or an early harvest. It's called a Beaujolais or Beaujolais because of when it's harvested. And there's a whole festival about it in France. You can go to Beaujolais, France during their harvest season in late August, and you can show up and be a part of the experience, the stomping of the grapes. It's a phenomenal thing to do when you're over there.
Wow, that's really cool.
And
you know
what
what?
it
I'm gonna
produces is
we
this
should
really
go.
refreshing wine.
I'm gonna get Shubi to take us to shit like that, bro.
Yeah, and yeah,
Shubi told me that
yeah.
whenever we want to go to Germany, we can go, and then he can take us like all around.
Oh no, big time. Yeah, big time. And a
Thank
lot
you,
of the
bro.
wines that Shubi will be able to show, like for earlier what you mentioned, like, oh, I know gas station wine. I know, like, you know different types of wines, right? Germany is about beer. Germany is beer and Jaeger and, you know, your aperitifs. Like, that's it, right?
Yeah.
But their late harvests on shit, like their wines are not as well known in their in their common culture. But if you're a person of culture in Germany, you
Yeah.
know Germanic wines.
Yeah.
But they're so unique and they're so different. We need to pull in Shubi for
Yeah, we
for
do
that,
need to pull in
for that
Shubi,
podcast because
yeah.
he can pronounce that shit a lot better than I can.
Oh fuck yeah. What are we drinking now? I'm drunk as fuck, bro.
I still got 2 more to go.
So
This is called Red Schooner.
I feel like we could do 2 more and then 1 more after that.
Yeah,
I
probably.
should have kept score of which one I liked the most. It could have re-upped on
No,
this
it's
one.
fine. It's fine. Hey, it's good notes for the next one.
Yeah, no, for sure. I feel like dude, I feel like I should do every podcast like this. Oh shit. I feel like I should do every podcast like this, bro.
So Red Schooner
Yeah.
is really unique, and I'm gonna try to put it in front here. So what's different about this guy is that you see.
Nobody can hear anything that you're saying right now, bro. I'll do that later. Don't worry about it. Come on.
So what you can see about it is that it is the 9th voyage of this wine. So Red Schooner is completely different compared to the others, mainly because of the fact that there's not a year or a date that it's made. What?
Back up a little bit.
You want me to back up a bit?
Yeah, just
like
a
right
bit,
here?
Yeah.
Am
Yeah,
I
you-
too loud right here?
Yeah. You're
You
too
want me
loud
to be
there.
right here? Okay.
Dude, this is really, really, really nice.
Yeah.
I really like the. That's cool. I fuck with it.
So the ninth voyage is the ninth production of this wine. So this is the ninth time that they have made it, and they have produced it massively. This is also, look on the back, is it Argentina or? It's
Oh,
definitely,
man.
it's a deeper red, bro. It's much deeper.
Oh man, this is.
Oh, but you get that black currant, you get that cherry, that pomegranate.
I think-
Oh, a
I
little
think-
bit of spice and anise.
I think this is the strongest one that I've had yet. Has it always been this loud? Fuck, man.
Not that loud. You're just
Yeah.
being able to feel sounds now.
Yeah. man. Why might have you on for the next one, bro?
Shit. But it's different. It's unique. And if you look on the back of the bottle, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if it's Argentinian or not, but it should be of South American
Beautiful
origin.
Argentina is legendary
Yeah.
for the production of.
And similar
fine.
to the Crios that we did earlier, that's from
Malbec wine.
Argentina. Like now we've had a white and a red wine from the country of Argentina.
Right.
And I could still comfortably tell you that the commonality between the two is that there's definitely a minerality. There's like this saltiness or like this like mineral water like taste to it.
That's what I was
in it.
thinking because I guess what I've been keeping track of is the sweetness. Even
Yeah,
though-
and this is
yeah,
not.
and
It's
this
not
one's
full,
not at all.
This is not
one's-
fully
yeah.
dry, and it's
Uh-huh.
not like overly sweet.
Yeah.
It's
This
very
one's
balanced.
Very, very, very.
Yeah. And if you go on your first sip, don't ever judge a wine by the first sip. Like when you first take a sip, like you swish as much as you fucking want.
Yeah.
However happy
However
makes
many,
you
yeah,
swish.
Yeah.
But when you go for your first sip, don't immediately judge it. Your second sip, that's when you want to judge the wine, to where it's like, you know what? Do I like it or do I not?
All right. Well, we're committed to this. Let's do it. How many after this?
2 more.
2 more. All right, let's do it.
I can't believe you just chugged that, but okay.
Believe it, bro. Believe it.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fred, I don't mean to hurry you, bro, but do you mind if we speed it up? What's this next one that we're having?
Let's do Talbot and just hand me both bottles because I got to open that one up. So I'm gonna do something fun for you.
Don't
which
spill anything. Don't spill anything.
I'm gonna open. I'm gonna.
No. I mean this guy. Because this guy's right now, he's going to fucking do some shit. And
Yeah, no. I'm not that bad. So I'm gonna do something fun for you that we didn't talk about. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna actually open or show how to open. a
yeah.
bottle of wine, okay?
Is that a
So-
custom?
It's not custom.
No, it's
but
not custom.
Yeah. So this is your regular wine key. Okay?
Yeah. I stole one of those from you.
I kind of figured you would have.
Yeah.
But you're gonna take that knife, right?
Uh-huh.
And you're gonna put it up against the rim of the wine as
Right.
much as you can.
Right.
And you're gonna cut it against it.
Wow.
Okay, clean cut. You're gonna take a single cut up, and then
Uh-huh.
you're gonna grab it underneath. And you're gonna pull up.
Whoa.
It comes off.
Yeah.
You flip down. You're gonna open it, and you're gonna screw into it. Now, because of, I blame the French of all people. French corks are longer than any other wine cork that is put together.
Okay.
So I go all the way down to where you can no longer see the screw of it, and I have full control and weight of the bottle.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah, I was
and
like,
I can
I was
move it
like,
with one hand,
whoa.
and I can come back,
Whoa.
and I'm good.
Yeah.
But now you're gonna take it against its first lip. You're gonna pop it up, and then again you're gonna move it like a machine.
Oh, it has two. Nice.
then it pops.
That's what that's for. You know, even though I stole it a long time ago, I still haven't learned how to use it.
Yeah,
But now I know.
well, no, it's definitely different.
That's
so,
really cool.
And this is gonna be fun about it because I'm gonna professionally pour in front of Monsieur Le Sugar here.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, that's one of my questions is how do you professionally pour and what does that mean? What does that do? I fuck with it. Yes. Please and thank you. That's good right there. Holy shit. Yeah. That's good right there, bro.
So you saw me present the bottle, right?
Yeah.
So with your older wines, so if you are going out, let's say with a company team or investors, and you're sitting down with them, and you all order wine from the restaurant or the sommelier, wine director that's present, that person is going to do exactly what I did with you. So I open it in front of you, so you know that I'm not bullshitting you.
Yeah.
You ordered what you got, which means nobody else has drank in front
No
of
one
it.
else is fucking with me.
No one else is fucking with you.
Yeah.
Then I give you a sample of it, and while you're sampling it, I still present the bottle, so you know exactly what you're looking at. You know exactly what you're drinking,
Yeah.
and then you
Oof.
nod,
Yeah.
okay, to say yes, like this. It's untainted, meaning that it's not corked. So like this cork,
Yeah.
if you were to take this right now and like chew it in your mouth and like get
me
it
see
all
that shit.
wet, like
Let me chew
you
it
can
and
if
shit.
you want.
Let me chew it and shit.
Like
What-
if a wine ever tastes like it's corked, like it's not that it's bad wine. It's just it failed. Like the aging process didn't work. So if a wine ever tastes like that, you damn well know that it's bad. It should not taste like that. Should be very, especially your deep reds like cabs like this need to be fruit forward.
Oh, were you gonna? Damn, this guy just poured himself fucking seconds, bro.
No, I
I'm
didn't.
sorry. Did I lick it and then you were supposed to put it back on the fucking?
No, you're fine. Don't worry about it. I got more than enough corks.
Okay, well, finish that because we
Yeah.
gotta get.
Well, we got one more to go
We got
through.
one more.
Um,
Are you gonna open that professionally too, or what?
No, well, actually, this one's kind of fun to do. So you're going to have fun with this in general. So this is a
Dude,
heavier cab,
This one's dense. I was about to say it's denser.
Yeah.
It's
and it hits your nose, right? It's just like,
yeah,
holy shit, like
yeah.
this is a lot.
and I
it's
have a
complex.
fuck ton,
It's
and I have a
different.
lot of allergies, and it's still hitting my nose. That's just
So
crazy as fuck.
this is an American Californian cab. It's called Educated Guess. It's rather basic,
Whoa, that's
okay?
cool.
But the bottle is definitely different just in terms of itself, but it is one of our clients' favorites, and that's mainly due to how fruit forward it is and how light on the palate it can be. And you get a beautiful like periodic table. Like
Yeah, I
coming
saw
off
that.
of it.
That's delicious, man.
Yeah.
That's a really, really, really intricate design.
Yeah.
Don't worry about
It's
it. I'll
definitely different.
I'll put some pictures up and stuff. But that looks very delicious, and it's very dense. It's very. Is,
Well, and
is
it's-
dark is dark a proper?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
expression for it.
There's no such thing. Whatever comes to your mind when you're describing wine, whatever type of vernacular, vocabulary that you want to put forward,
Yeah.
is better, because the way that you can explain it to where everybody can understand it at the table, the better the experience is going to be.
You know, Pablo Coelho. That's is exactly what he does. But he does that with feeling and emotion. It's whatever words you can use to describe this, so that somebody, very important key part right here, so that somebody else can understand
yeah.
what you're feeling and what you're saying. That's very important.
Well,
And
because
that's
if
really
if
all
I
that it is.
if I were to sit in front of you and be like, oh yes, the color and the hue is phenomenal, the tiering on the wine is absolutely brilliant, the smell on the immediate palate is going to be, that's brilliant. I'm glad you know your stuff about wine.
You look like a
but-
smart motherfucker, yeah. But
That's-
that doesn't
no.
communicate much to the other person.
Correct.
But if you're like, oh, this tastes like what it was like to wake up on like a Sunday morning and not have like that much to do.
Yeah.
Then that's something that relates to people and shit.
Wine is the
All right,
social
all right,
experience.
I got my boys telling me we got to wrap it up, so let's get this last one going. And Stevens, thank you so much for being in this
No, you're welcome.
podcast.
You ready to end it off?
I'm ready to
Okay.
end it off, man.
So this is a screw cap wine. And what that means is, instead of utilizing this tool to open it, you can use your hands. But there's a funner way to do this. You can unscrew it from up top, or you can
Yeah.
do this. You can grab by the
by the
label
neck,
here,
by the neck of the motherfucker.
by the neck,
Oh,
and it already opened. It's a cute little trick,
Yeah. Fred, do you mind pouring mine? Or Stevens. He's gonna get up from his seat in his position and his mic and everything. He's gonna. What am I paying this guy for? You feel me?
So this is Chateau Talbot, which is not a French wine. It's actually a wine that has some French connections that is made in California, Monterey.
Wow.
But you're going to look at this and you'll be like, wow, it's so much lighter in color.
It is.
It's unique.
It is.
It's different.
It is, especially compared to the last one that we had. Yeah.
And the second you smell it, you're going to think like, it smells dirty. And dirty in terms of like a forest floor.
Okay.
Like it's the fresh foliage, the terroir, like it's musty or musky. Okay. Definitely different.
Well, Stevens, I just want to say thank you so much for being on this podcast, man. This is really fun, really nice.
I got to bring 12 next time.
You gotta.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what? I was thinking he was gonna be like 15, like 16 wines and some shit, bro.
I think by the time we hit 10, we'd be fucked.
you brought 8 wines and some fucking slosh, man. I had so many questions, so many intricate things to ask, and all that shit got thrown out the window. Thank you so much. Obviously, you're somebody who knows wine very, very well, and I really appreciate your contribution to this podcast.
And it's a comfortability approach to be able to teach people that want or would like the knowledge here.
100%. I know you work at Social Market, so go ahead and plug that in, please.
So I am the wine director and the social media marketing director for Social Market here in El Paso, Texas, where I focus mainly on wine. I'm your wine guy, but I'm not a sommelier. I don't have any accreditation behind my name, but within the last year, I've made it my business and my ethic to learn about this, and it's given me opportunities both in the working world and others, and sociability aspect to have good conversations with people that are 4 times my age.
You know what? I think that one of the coolest things that I heard you say because I go to a Social Market a lot, and I was there just this past weekend, and I remember you saying that the job or the purpose of Social Market is to educate people on wine. So I think that coming from the perspective that you're coming from as somebody who's not a sommelier, who doesn't know or who didn't know these like rich history or these extravagant ways to explain a palate to somebody, or these fancy alternatives to pouring all this wine. I think that you are the best candidate to explaining everybody, at least in my podcast or just El Paso in general, a little bit of wine knowledge. So I appreciate that.
We'll bring 8 or more different ones the next time.
100%. I feel like not intimidated at all to go up to a place and talk about wine and ask about wine compared to how I was before this podcast. So I hope more people feel this way. I'm fucking slooshed as fuck.
Catch up, bitch.
Thank you, Stevens. Stevens is one of my friends from such a long time. We've been together, I think, for like 4 or 5 years now.
We're going on 6.
You
ready for our anniversary date? Sorry, Ariana.
I am ready for an anniversary
He's mine like
date.
one evening, along with Fred. He's unavailable.
Austin Stevens, the Texas Viking, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for contributing all this wine to this episode.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, from any time, honestly. I'm really sorry about Brandon. He was supposed to be here, but he wasn't here. Fred, thank you so much for pouring, for taking pictures. Thank you so much for everything. Thank you so much to my lovely girlfriend for just support, kicking bags, making me think that somebody's out to get me.
Someone's breaking in.
We have to get out of here. But Stevens, again, one more time, Social Market, thank you so much to you guys for being here.
Thank
Before
you, Lettuce
leave,
Wraps.
Plug in your Instagram and a song that you're currently obsessed with, please.
Yeah, so we're definitely at Social Market EP
While
our handle.
While I fucking finish this fucking...
And you said favorite song right now. Oh, shit.
Song that you're currently obsessed with. People think that I'm saying favorite song. I'm not saying favorite song.
No. Yeah.
Song that you're currently obsessed with. Because there's a difference. Plug it in right now.
You're the Cat. I don't know why. The Cat's in the Cradle. I don't fucking know. That's a great question. I just fucking plug it into Spotify and I just go away.
You know, we were singing that. This fucking...
Cat's in the cradle, then a silver spoon. Little boy and his man on the moon. Who the fuck is it by? I want to say it's by Cat Stevens, but I'm not entirely sure. Hold on.
Cat Stevens.
Gives me 1 second. Cat.
I'll look it up.
Year of the... Oh, by Al Stewart.
Okay, Al Stewart.
Year of the Cat by Al Stewart.
All right.
Yeah.
Stevens, one more time, thank you so much for being here. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of Lettuce Wraps. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Absolutely. Wine time is every time.
Wine time is every time, okay? Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next time. Someone press these fucking buttons for me. I got it. Stop and then stop over it.